Welcome, everybody. We're back after, 2.5 months break, while Dinesh was off taking a number of different groups up to Tibet during the monsoon. And now we're back into, it's spring for me, so it's fall for you. And the trails are starting to open up again. Has the rain stopped, Dinesh?
Yeah, it's almost seems like that. But we cannot guarantee now. It might be reback the rain, but
Yeah.
this week almost dry. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get going and talking about today's topic, which is about the transformative power of trekking, my name is Michelle Hill, and I am a business coach and an AI trainer. And I first fell in love with trekking in Nepal 9 years ago now. And I think it's almost to the day, about another, I think, 4 or 5 days before I was actually at Everest Base Camp 9 years ago. And for me, it was a really transformative experience and led to a lot of personal growth for me. And so much so that I came back 2 years later and did Annapurna Circuit, which was even longer. And at times I thought I really am crazy. But from those experiences, what I wanted to do is be able to share with people how amazing it actually is to do something like this. So that's what we're going to talk through today. But first of all, Dinesh Karki, my colleague from Nature Explore Trek, is going to introduce himself.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dinesh. Those who doesn't know my name earlier, and I'm from the eastern part of Nepal, where I was born and grew up. Since my early age, I started as a porter in this job, involving the early age. While in this journey, I've been working as a porter like almost 1 decade of course, in the Everest region where I am from. And then after every years, after long experience in the same field, then I became like a cook, assistant, whatever I need to do before became a full guide. And then it spent like almost 1 decade. Then after long experience, finally I became a guide to take to the group in the mountains. So almost all over the Nepal, all over the popular destinations of Nepal, like Everest region, Annapurna region, Kanchenjunga, Makalo, wherever the popular trekking are located, all over the Nepal almost. So I've been guiding all around there. After long experience with one of my friends, we worked together, myself. We established our company since 2015, early 2015. Then after that, we are organizing and arranging through our own company since 2015 to now. During in this our journey, we have been giving or providing like service more than 200, maybe 200 to 300, 500, almost thousands of people
You
from all
need to
over the
keep
world.
track.
Yeah, we have no record, including like the big trips, small trips. In this journey, we have also organized such a big trips like a GST. That means like a Upper Great Himalayan Trail, which is start from East Nepal to West Nepal. And one of these longest and adventure trip, we are the one where success in one team on one go with slogan. As this slogan says, like not stopping anywhere. Many people stop organize trips as kind of, but we do different because of we had a team like that and we organized that way. In this, well, I would say in this journey we have very success until today, and we're looking forward tomorrow. Of course, during this journey, 15 to 25 almost now, we are facing big issues like COVID, earthquake in Nepal. So yeah, we just being patient and waiting and see the days. But yeah, everything's going fine. And I would also add a little bit myself. I this in since I involving as a tourism sector as a reporter, and then before I accomplished like being guide, then in all this journey, I've also got chance to see the other countries, like in Europe and some of the Asian countries like Korea and Japan, like some popular countries. Well, I've also got the opportunity to see the other countries' people and then trekking and culture. That makes me like, well, I would say all overall, long time I'm involving in this sector. Yeah, and then I think you already know that, and everyone who doesn't know that, I've been leading the groups not only in Nepal, like in Bhutan, Tibet, and like especially in the West Tibet, in where the Mount Kailash is located, the holy mountains, and India, of course, as they are neighbors. And then I have also got opportunity to trekking in Switzerland, and I mean in Europe. So that means, yeah, the life is going on, and so I'm enjoying in my job. Thank you, Michelle. So that's I want to tell now.
Sounds like you're our resident expert. Now, as I said,
Thank
today
you.
we wanted to focus a little bit more on the transformative power of trekking. And what we thought we'd do is focus it around Everest Base Camp trek, because this is probably one of the best known treks in Nepal. And it is also a trek that is on the bucket list for many, many, many people. So one of the first things, and I think I mentioned in my intro that doing something like this can actually lead to quite life-changing personal growth. For myself, I will never forget standing at Everest Base Camp with both my hands in the air, like just, oh my God, I did it. If I can do this, I can actually do anything. So Dinesh, when you've led groups to base camp and they've successfully completed, what's your experience, and what are the type of things people say, and what have you seen in terms of the personal growth that people go through?
Wow, this is such a good questions. Yeah, like in my experience, definitely as a trekking, you behind of your when you leave your comfort zone and go out, especially this kind of adventure trekking and trekking to the like such Everest Base Camp or Annapurna or anywhere in this remote area, remote countries and remote area, and then you successfully complete that your goal, that you clean your bucket list. Definitely, you will feel totally different as you are out of comfort zone, and then you're on that you will see and you will encounter unexpected things, that I mean like cultural, wildlife, and then wonderful view of mountains where you cannot see in
Mm.
your life, from your hometown or from your
Yeah.
home, right? So that's definitely changing your whole life. And then that means like you are learning so much things, you are seeing so much things. Let's say someone is boring, like working and just put sitting on front of computer all the time and just focusing on the work and nothing to see, just all the time is same. But when they are on a holiday, such like trekking in Nepal and going the Everest Base Camp or anywhere, definitely these things will change. Even my experience says these things will change their life, because of
Mm.
they will have a good chance, so good opportunity to know each other with the local culture from different world, I mean other side, other corner of the world. And then as I said earlier, like the mountain views is golden opportunity to encounter face to face with these big mountains on the earth, and then up and downs of Nepal's, especially if I'm saying Nepal, and then
Yeah.
hills, and crossing such a beautiful rivers and suspension bridge, and then reaching in the highest point of your life, like let's say even if you stay in the Everest Base Camp, like 5,300, and then even you more climb to the hills of Kalapathar, it's mountain for others, of course.
Mm.
And like of course, during that journey, in this journey, you will have fun, emotional, happiness, everything will come in mixture, in the way of mixturing, that
Yeah.
makes you like totally different experience. Someone is staying in the luxury life and just sitting on a car, go to the office and work, come back to the home, eating nice food, nothing feel like different. They will
Mm.
always face same thing. They will not even feel like hard, you know
Yeah.
but when they are out of that zone and then come to the mountains and see the things, they will learn like so much different things. I know people are already educated as online through the online, seeing the visuals like videos and anything, but see doing like taking own experience by our personal physical, touching by physical then. So that will gives a lot of educations, a lot of things. So
Yeah.
people will be get encouraging, like inspirations, and then seeing different things. That means that will be help a lot of personal their life also, and then also for our nations, it will be help lots because of the people will react to the home and talk to their families or friends about the trekking and Nepal. So both sides. I don't know. I'm still in the answer or not, but so I think this is life changing. People definitely have a good opportunity to change the life when they are
Yeah.
doing sort of this kind of trip. What I'm trying to tell, and then
Yeah.
even in my groups, as in my past experience, when they are successfully complete those this kind of trip, they are like they are such a wonderful, they are just changing whole their life. If they were in the other world, they will be in a different world now because of they see the poor life to the
Yeah.
hard life to the comfort life. They have a good physically time to compare the both life. Right
Mm.
now, they are the person, they are the real person now. They became because of, let's say, someone coming from Brisbane or Melbourne or anywhere, and then trekking to the Everest Base Camp, and then seeing the poor culture or rich culture, and meeting the so many hard workers like laborers to the high levels, and
Yeah.
staying at someone guest house, small homestay, and then eating their foods, and then walking the 5,000 meter up and downs. This is such a big academy to learn about adventure. So
Yeah.
definitely these things will change those adventure lovers people life.
Yeah.
Of course, they will learn so much things. They will start to build their skill, and that means they can apply this, and then they can continue to build their adventure skills for their whole life. That means they can also teach for their families, children's, or neighbors. So this is
Mm.
one of such big things. Though, like these things also cannot done easily. This has to be also chosen by the as a god, as blessings from the mountains always residence of the god, no
Yeah.
matter which one. But it is, as we believe, this is like God residence, as a clean place, as a holy mountains. The reason why we seeing like same mountains years and years back, right? So that means the only luckiest person, and then we're blessing peoples that we can continue, and those who are coming in for adventure definitely will be blessings continue. That means everything spiritually and adventure, like the both side, both hands, it is life-changing things. That what I'm trying to tell.
Yeah.
Also, let me tell a little bit. When we are trekking on the way, not only we walk and see the mountains, we meet like so many different cultural things like monasteries, temples, churches, like a masjid, a church, everywhere. And then it's a little bit joining it spiritual way also, so we can also do some meditation on a way. We can stay in
Mm.
front of the monastery and praying like this, doing meditation like 20 minutes, give you a lot of energy from your inner heart. So this give you like good companionship. That
Yeah.
makes you peace and quiet, and give you a good opportunity to have like good knowledge, build your skills, and you will have clean all your past, and then make more energy for the future, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, let's, for example, one example, suppose someone doing Everest Base Camp trekking, right? You have done already, that, Michelle,
Yeah.
and Katie is going on. So in the,
We've only got
let's
a
say,
little while to go now.
yeah, and Tengbuche Monastery, that's for example, not only trekkers, every expeditions, climbers, people, they stop there for the worship, or like taking like blessings from the Lama, like monk.
Mm.
So, that means they're believing as mountains are residents of God, right? No
Mm.
matter which ones. So with just blessings and praying, that means our inner satisfaction will be starting to fulfill. Then we'll have nothing to get behind us, right? We just continue our destinations. That
Yeah.
is another success rules, success formula to
Yeah.
our destinations. So that means we're not only walking and getting our physical loss, and we're not going only for the eat different food. We are going there for learn so much things, culture, nature, wildlife, and then everything, and then encounter like with so many different face, white people, red people, like black people. We meet so many things. This is, I would say, as adventure lovers, me myself, as I can also say as a leader, a guide, teacher now. So it is the academy of learning about your adventure. So you, let's say, everyone knows that by individuals or by writing or reading or seeing through the online, they have a theoretical, they have all information, I know that. But when they are physically by themselves, walking physically, and then they will do that practical. So the practical makes perfect, that you will feel it. Okay, now I got it. What is this? So this is the things. So overall, I would say it is really life changes things in your
Yeah.
life. So when
Yeah.
you are out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, I was just, as you were talking, there was different memories coming up for me as well. And one of the things that you mentioned was, the beauty of the mountains, and just like what I remember at times is, you're walking along and you're watching to make sure you don't tread on a rock or, slip or whatever. But then you stop and you look around and it's like, oh my God, I'm in the Himalayas. And
Yeah.
for me, just the sheer size of the mountains, it actually made me feel quite small. But also what it made me feel was that everything that you worry about is actually quite small as well when you compare it to the size of the mountains, and it helps you, I guess, to put things in perspective and not worry about the small stuff, because then you've got this. But then I am from Australia, so we don't have very many big mountains here, so
Yeah.
perhaps that influenced me. And also, that whole thing about getting out of your comfort zone. I turned up in Nepal, never having even done like more than a full 1 day hike. I'd never done an overnight or anything like that. So to be staying in tea houses and, to be on that journey, for me, every day was different. And some of it made me a little bit uncomfortable at times, but it also teaches you just like sometimes just go with the flow and see what happens. And if the promised hot shower is not actually hot, does it really matter, and all of those sort of things as well. And I remember, the big suspension bridges, and my biggest fear was that I would be halfway across and the yaks would be coming the other way, and there was like nowhere to go. It never
You
happened,
just
but
close your eye and then
I
when
couldn't
the act is
imagine
coming other way.
couldn't
Yeah.
imagine myself hanging off the edge. I was bad enough, walking along the suspension bridges, with the hole in the floor, like looking down, going, ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's all of those, and I guess you look at it in the totality of the whole trip, but when you start talking about it and all these little memories start popping up of all the little different things and what they meant. And I was there in September 2015, which was 6 months after the earthquake. So there was still a lot of damage and a lot of things not repaired. And to see the resilience of the people in terms of how they were clearing things and rebuilding things. But what it also meant was that for most of the journey, we had very, very, very limited Wi-Fi. So it was almost like this forced, downtime, no one can contact you, which has its upsides as well. So they're just my little few 2 cents worth.
Mhm.
And you'll have your own soon, Katie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, you've kind of like when you were talking, Dinesh, you've kind of covered most of the things that we were going to talk about today in terms of building up people's resilience and confidence. And I really, and I mentioned that I am a coach, and one of the things in my coaching is that I actually encourage people to step outside of their comfort zone to initiate that personal growth and personal change.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to do something as crazy as me, as get on a plane and go to Nepal and trek to Everest Base Camp, but everybody has their own Everest that they need to face as well. So it's always a good reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
It is.
yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to cover or mention, or do you have any questions, Katie, that you wanted to ask us, or any comments that you'd like to add?
Oh, I'm not prepared for anything, but
That's
you
okay.
know,
You can simply say,
but
no,
you
I don't
know,
have anything today.
but yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to it, and you know, I love mountains, and was always a dream to go to Everest Base Camp, and I was fortunate to see it on the Tibetan side, but I also thought I would never be able to do the trek on the Nepal side. But, you know, I think after joining some Facebook groups, it doesn't sound as daunting as what I had visioned myself. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, someone who pushes myself to do things
Mm,
all the time, but this will be probably the biggest challenge physically that I have ever encountered.
yeah,
You know, I love following the um, the religious paths of cultures that I come across. So I wasn't too sure. I know there was one video I looked on at YouTube where the trekker asked for permission to go into Temboche Monastery. So, are we allowed to go in there
Yes,
or not?
we are allowed to go inside. Normally, they open after 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And one of my colleagues was asking me the other day, but some of the monks wear like a some sort of a bracelet, like made out of some kind of fabric.
Like this.
And yeah, and he was asking whether or not I'd be able to buy one that's been blessed by, a Buddhist monk. But is that possible on the trek?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can buy inside monastery or not, but one of those can buy in the market in Tamil or on the way to Namche. But
Mm,
some monks they sell, some doesn't. So I think yeah, in Tangbuche you can buy it. Yeah.
mm,
Okay. Yeah.
uh, oh.
Now
Yeah.
I'm just gonna add something to what you said, Katrina, too, about how you didn't think it was possible for you to be able to do this. And you and I were talking before we started, in terms of when you do something like this, it is so important to you do you. You don't feel pressured that you have to keep up with the group, or that there's some sort of like, oh, you have to be somewhere by a particular time. This is all about your experience and your journey. So particularly for Dinesh and his guides, I mean, their goal is that everybody has the experience that they want to, and they have the best experience possible.
Mm,
So it is about not trying to set records, or not trying to keep up with people. It's about
mm,
making sure that when you're doing your journey, even like me, if you're the last person to get to the lunch stop, if you're the last person to get to the tea house, it doesn't matter, because you get there. And sometimes it's an advantage, because if you get to the lunch stop half an hour after everyone else and they've already ordered for you, sometimes you turn up and your lunch is already ready.
mm. Yeah, it
Okay,
seems all very well organized from what I
yeah.
can tell, you know. Um,
And the people in the tea houses as well, they're lovely, because they want everybody to have the best possible experience, because they want the memories that you take away with you
mm,
to be like, Nepal is wonderful and you've had a wonderful experience, but also they want you to come back,
mm,
because there's so many beautiful places in Nepal to visit. and yeah, I'm looking forward to my next trip. So we might,
Mm.
did you
I was
have
just gonna, I was just gonna say, a lot of, I see a lot of posts of people putting up, asking about buying water on the trek, and some people will say, "Oh, it's very expensive," and when you work out what it is in Australian dollars, it's like $1. We pay 4 times that in the shop.
Yeah.
Like it's $4 in Australia. It's like, well, what's $1?
Yeah.
I think it's in part to for me is really just giving that money back to their economy. So, you know,
Well,
a dollar is nothing.
yeah, I very rarely bought bottled water. What I used to do was at the tea houses, if you want like hot water or boiled water, you normally pay for that at the tea house and then fill up my Camelback with that. So sort of it's still contributing, but not buying plastic bottles as well. So yeah.
I've
That's
tried a
something to
Camelback
consider.
before, but I couldn't sort of it wasn't that convenient for me. I don't bother with Camelbacks.
Yeah, it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
And I've as I said, I've been twice and then last year on a long one in Australia. And some people use them, some people use water bottles. It
Mm,
simply comes down to personal preference,
mm, yeah, yeah.
and what you're used to. So
Mm,
if there's nothing else, I might just wrap it up there. And next week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, is trekking in Nepal really for you? Now, the essence of that topic is, if you're thinking, oh, perhaps like what Katie did before she did some research, is would it be possible for me to do that? Like, I'm a bit scared, I'm a bit fearful that I won't be able to make it. Is it the right thing for me? That's the sort of things we're going to talk about next week. And we'll focus on Annapurna Base Camp Trek as some examples to use around that, and how you can actually address most of your fears kind of before you get there, so that when you get there, you have the best
mm,
possible experience.
mm.
Okay, so that's it for me and Katie and Dinesh this week. We will be back next Tuesday afternoon again.
Yeah.
I nearly forgot which day it was because I think we've had 10 weeks or 11 weeks off while you've been doing your Tibet tours. So
Yeah.
we'll get back into a routine really soon.
Yeah.
So that's it for what we're going to talk about today. And I am just going to finish the recording there
Mm.
and stop the recording.